The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 76. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch, a.k.a. Mr. Streamloots. Burly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I slept like a baby last night. How are you doing?
Slept like a baby, huh? I wish I could sleep like a baby. It's like my body always wakes me up after like 5 hours or so. But other than that, I'm doing good. Yeah. So, yeah. Our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, he's off this week. He is going to a bachelor party for his brother, so he will be back with us next week. So congratulations to his brother. So anyway, yeah. Got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, Burly. Of course, we got a lot of news on all fronts. So we're going to talk about the Pokemon news for Nintendo, of course. And on the PlayStation side, Horizon Forbidden West got a new patch. So we're going to talk about that, as well as the console sales for 2021 for PlayStation. And of course, they were on top again for the console market. I'm going to talk about that. Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red, particularly CD Projekt Red, has decided not to sell games in Russia now. We're going to talk about that and, what that says for the industry and what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Also, on the Microsoft Xbox side of things, we're going to talk about Game Pass. That's our topic of the show today, kind of like March Madness. We're getting some big games on Game Pass, and we're going to speculate as to what we think is going to be coming down the pipeline throughout the rest of the spring and throughout the year. So we'll talk about that. And of course, our new game releases for the week for March 7th through the 13th. So we'll be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about the games, the one game especially, but for Burly, I think a couple of games, but for me, one game. But anyway, the games we've been playing this past week, right after we have this brief message about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they've been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month and get early access to every episode and post-show in audio and video formats, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at the Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at the Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, Burly, for me, still Horizon Forbidden West. That's the only game I've been playing. I've made significant progress. I'd say I'm probably about 75% through the main story now. Wow. I'm getting closer. Of course, no spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because there's probably a lot of people out there that are still playing the game. But I've made it pretty far west. That's all I'm going to say. I've made it pretty far west, and the location sets are beautiful, especially because I'm from California. I'm from San Francisco, and the areas of California that you go through are quite beautiful in the game. The visuals are stunning, obviously. I mean, the control schemes, the mechanics of the game, I'm enjoying them. I said in a previous podcast about the weapons wheel and trying to, when you're, in a big battle with a machine, sometimes you're trying to get one weapon to another on the weapons wheel and it kind of, goes another way. But other than that, I mean, I'm having fun with it. I'm getting more used to, using the grappling hook, and jumping was a bit of a challenge at first, but I've gotten used to that a lot more. And I haven't really run into any game crashing bugs or anything like that at all. The games run very well for me on my PlayStation 5. I'm using the digital PS5, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I've had a pretty solid experience so far overall. And how about you when it comes to Horizon Forbidden West? And I know you're playing another game now. So you can go ahead. What are you playing, Burly?
Well, we'll go Horizon first. Horizon.
Yeah, let's do Horizon. Yeah.
I have a digital copy because my physical copy was going to take forever. Thank you, Amazon, on that. So it was. So I went digital, and I've had a lot of fun with Horizon. No game breaking bugs or anything like that. No crashing. So all good there. I'm starting to go really west, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
For anyone that's played the game, you know what I mean. So
right.
I'm having a blast with it. I have no idea where I'm in the story. I haven't looked anything up. It's just kind of nice to just keep playing and not knowing, and just go with it and have the fun. It's been a lot of fun, this game. Yeah,
and I think you're doing a lot more side quests at the moment too. I've been in the beginning. I did some side quests, but I'm finding out now that I really, since I'm pretty deep into the story now, I think I just want to keep pushing on until the end, and then do side quests after. But it seems like from watching your streams and what you've been doing, you've been playing kind of like a mixed bag of side quest and main story quests.
I try to do a mix because I want to do some of the side content. There's a lot. Like, I'm only like 23% or 24% completion on this game.
Right.
There's a lot to do, but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's so much. Right.
But the thing is, they really make you want to do side quests because you're constantly getting skill points. And it's like,
yes, of course.
I want that.
Yeah. I'm up to about, I'd say 9 or 10 skill points on each of the categories now. So
nice.
Yeah. So I mean, not too bad. I mean, the main quest, you get a good chunk of skill points when you finish a main quest as well. So, I'll probably do some side quests maybe once I know I'm pretty much in the last quest. I'll probably try to do some side quests to get ready for it. But I'll be looking forward to that. So Burly, what's the other game that you've been playing?
Well, there are 2 other games.
Okay.
I've been going back to Life is Strange: True Colors on my own time.
Oh, True Colors. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished the first chapter, and boy, what an ending there! I can't wait to start chapter 2. I've had a lot of fun. It's just a nice for anyone that has not played these games. They're nice, relaxing, just story-based games, and I love them.
How do you like that small town? I think it's in Colorado. It's based in Colorado, but how do you like that small town that you walk through? Yeah.
So far, pretty good, but I haven't walked. Like, you have the little intro where you're walking through, and then you go to the record store, and like, I've been to your brother's apartment, and then the bar. So
right. It's like this one long street that you walk along. I think. Yeah. So Cool. And okay, Burly, what's the other game?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah.
And
yeah. Have you counted how many times you've died yet?
Oh God, no! I should have set up a death counter, but I'm too fucking lazy. For that. Like, and I'm not one of those guys. I need to see the number of how many times I died in Elden Ring. No.
Yeah.
I've had fun. I have my thoughts and opinions on this game that some people will not like. And,
yeah.
But this is all. Most of it will be saved for the extra take we're planning.
Right.
As I said on my streams, it is a good game, but I cannot see how this game scored as high as it did.
Okay.
To most of the reviewers, that's all I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. I'll leave that to you because I haven't played it. I don't know if I'll ever play it, but I mean I'm interested to know what other people think about it, and I'll probably watch some other people streaming and playing as well as you playing the game. So, and I'll be looking forward to the extra take where we, go over some of your video game play and your, review of what we have of that game. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, so now let's get to the weekly news beat. So, of course, in Nintendo, of course, our Nintendo news this week. We got the announcement of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet announced for late this year. And this was a surprise because of, Pokemon Legends Arceus came out in January. And we thought this would probably be the main game for the year. But no, they're coming out with more Pokemon content, supposedly. I think here in Japan, it's probably going to come out probably in November. I don't know. We don't know for sure. But Burly, what did you think of all of this? We got the announcement for Violet and Scarlet, and then of course they showed the three, of course, introductory or the new starter Pokemon that are going to be used in this new Pokemon iteration. So, what do you think of all this?
Yeah, I was really surprised when we got this in the Pokemon Presents that we were shown this off. Like I can understand we get the little teaser, but this coming this year makes me think they want to crack one last out on the Switch. That's the vibe I'm getting.
So you think Generation 9 will be the final for Switch, and then whatever the next model is or iteration of
Gen 10 will be on the next platform.
Okay, so that's your prediction. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
like there'll be side games, but I'm talking more like main games. But like the teaser looks interesting. I'm really hoping they take features from Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus. Give me the thing of I don't always have to go into battle to catch. If I stealthily go around the grass and throw a Great Ball, an Ultra Ball, and I get lucky. I catch the Pokemon. Let me do that. Because I love that with Arceus. Because I don't know, I like battles, but that was such a fun mechanic of Arceus.
Yeah. And what kind of location are we going to be getting in Scarlet and Violet?
People are thinking it's a toss-up between either Spain or the Netherlands because of the windmills.
Okay.
People are thinking, so I don't know because I've never been to either of those countries, so I can only speculate with what the internet's given us. But we have been getting, the series has been doing international same-day releases, pretty much. I think since X and Y Gen 6, I think was the first to start that, so let's... I'm sure we'll do it. I'm sure it'll be a November game because that's usually when Pokemon they drop Pokemon. So it'll be interesting to see what we get. The only problem is for every little bit we get here in North America, you guys in Japan, you have the famous magazine Korokoro. And that thing gets leaked to high heaven, and it's like,
oh yeah,
I kind of love the thing with Legends Arceus that I did of just staying away from most of it. So I know Carl was loving of it. Is like, what's there to spoil? It's just a Pokemon game. you catch Pokemon, you fight battles, but it's like it's kind of nice seeing. Whoa, this is in here. This in here.
Yeah.
This and that. So it's going to be. I'm hoping to do as much staying away from it as I can, but the problem is Twitter and stuff exists, and people like to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm speculating about this, but I think that the Scarlet and Violet are going to be similar gameplay wise. It's probably going to be more similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus than the other games. I don't know. We shall see, but more of that kind of a semi-open world type of vibe, that we'll probably get from Scarlet and Violet. We shall see, but and we'll probably get some more information on it. I'm sure the Nintendo Directs that they're going to have more throughout the year are going to show more footage of it, and we're gonna get a release date at some point later on, probably maybe in the summer, I would think, but we shall see.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, okay. So next up, let's move on to PlayStation. So, of course, Horizon Forbidden West is selling very well. It's doing very well, and we got an update that brings a slew of tweaks and fixes. So some of these tweaks and fixes, I'm going to read off to you from Destructoid.com. So it says here, some of them include fixed mission markers and objectives, fixes to sporadic crash problems, which Burly and I, we've never really encountered any of those.
Standard.
Some UI tweaks and much requested fixes for the photo mode's blurring bug. I don't know if that ever happened to you, Burly, but in photo mode, a blurring bug.
I see. I have not really done much in photo mode.
Yeah, neither have I.
I mean to, but it's just when I'm in the heat of the game, I never think to sit and go into photo mode. Like I did it a little with Ghost just to see how pretty that game was. But I've seen blurry in certain areas when you're going to the main game. Like I've seen one weird texture wouldn't load properly in a cauldron. Yeah.
And Guerrilla has also adjusted the audio-visual fidelity of Horizon's mini cutscenes and reduced the intensity of the screen effects when activating Aloy's power-boosting, quote, Valor surges, end quote. And then one of the other fixes they're making to Horizon Forbidden West is some of Aloy's dialogue, for example. She always runs around, and when you pick up stuff, and you don't have enough room, she's always saying, I'll have to put this in my stash or something like that. Yeah. She's always constantly saying, I'm going to have to put this in my stash or in my stash. So they're cutting that out now. So you won't constantly hear Aloy talking about her stash. So
I need my stash, man.
Yeah. I need the stash. But so those are some of the fixes and tweaks to Horizon Forbidden West. But like I said at the beginning of the show, I mean, I really haven't had any problems with this game at all. I mean, just knock on wood. Hopefully, as the game gets toward the end, nothing happens, nothing crashes or anything. But so far, so good. I haven't had any problems with it. So
yeah, for me, I had one little thing with a cutscene. That's it. And you know what? For modern day video games, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think overall, I mean, Guerrilla Games are an awesome studio. And I mean, they've been working on this for years, and they're pretty thorough in what they do. Horizon Zero Dawn was the example. So, I mean, they're, there's always going to be some kind of bugs out there that they need to tweak and fix and stuff. And, this is part of that. So update 1.06 is, a part of that. So, yeah.
Well,
yeah, Burly, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, Sony is told them, take your time. You need resources. Sony is going to give them it. So
right.
That's what I was going to just kind of quickly say.
Okay. So now let's move on to the consoles, and PlayStation obviously won 2021 numbers wise, obviously. And I'm going to read you some of the numbers here. So this is from PlayStation Lifestyle. So it says Sony captured 46% of the console gaming market in 2021. So a slight increase when compared to their performance in 2020, thanks to the strength of the PlayStation Store and console sales. The brand remains extremely attractive to third-party publishers and developers, according to Ampere Analysis. So this gives them a fairly large lead when compared to their rivals. So in comparison, Nintendo's share in the market decreased by 2% to 29% as Nintendo struggles with online services, game downloads, and other in-game monetization options when compared to Sony and Microsoft. Xbox comes a very close third with 25% of the market, also getting a very slight increase. And spending on console services like PS Plus, PS Now, Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass, and Nintendo Switch Online grew 20% when compared to last year. This was mainly driven by the success of Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, especially with the inclusion of major day one releases. So although PlayStation is rumored to be unveiling a rival to this in the form of Project Spartacus soon. And finally, retail sales have also dropped below 30% of the market share for the first time ever. PlayStation's contributions to this wasn't revealed, although it was noted that Nintendo is still the biggest contributor to retail sales. Ampere also noted that Xbox game sales have become increasingly digital thanks to the introduction of the Xbox Series S. Overall, the video games market was worth $60 billion in 2021, and this is only expected to grow despite shortages in consoles because of chips and, of course, the coronavirus pandemic and all that. So what do you think, Burly? What do you think of these numbers, man? Of course, obviously, the PlayStation console is still quite popular to buy. The PlayStation 4 with 120 plus million users wanting to upgrade and all, but what do you think, man?
Yeah, it's not surprising. Like, Sony has had a lot of great games that makes it want you to pick it up. Like, just think of last year, even though 2021 was kind of weird because we're still early into the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
But you had big titles. Like, you had Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. And I know that sold huge for people that didn't pick it up. You had if you were a PS5 owner, you had Ratchet and Clank come out. I know Deathloop did do well. I know there's another PlayStation game. I'm blanking
of course, Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Kena. Yeah. They had some big titles all kind of near each other that really all did well. So
yeah,
it's not surprising. And when they said the uptick in services, you knew it was going to be Game Pass. PlayStation Plus may have went up. PS Now, I don't think really, if it went up, it barely went up because I know very
slightly,
few people.
I think.
Yeah, like Nintendo, I'm sure Nintendo Switch Online Basic went up, and maybe a few people bought the expansion pass, so it's now up to 20 people from 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and I'm not surprised it's about. Go ahead, Burly. Yeah.
I said Sony. It put out the big franchises that people wanted, and people know because from the state of play is what they've got coming, so people are going into there. Microsoft is still doing well, but Microsoft is that they're doing a different market. They're get you into Game Pass,
right?
And for the whole retail sales, not very many. I don't buy a lot of games. I buy physically when I can, but a lot of times I will buy digital just because the convenience. It's like I know it's like I'd rather like having the disc, but I want to drive, especially here in Canada. Gas has gone insane, so it's like, do I want to drive?
Well, it's gone insane everywhere. Yeah, now. So.
Yeah. But, I can only really speak for Canada because I can only tell you the pricing in Canada so much.
Obviously, yeah.
But it has gone to. It's like, do I want to spend X amount just to go there, drive back, And by the time I could have done all that, I could already had the game digitally downloaded and installed.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, Nintendo with, like retail sales. I mean, obviously, with those little cartridges, everybody wants the little cartridges. So, so especially here in Japan, I mean, you go into an electronics store, everything's Nintendo pretty much. It's about, I would say 60% Nintendo, 30% PlayStation, 10% other. Xbox, yeah. Microsoft Xbox is in the corner. Yeah, it's in the corner over there somewhere.
1%.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about Xbox in Japan, but like I said, and I've said this many times before on the show. I mean, they, the Japanese retailers, they're going to put Nintendo and PlayStation front and center. Obviously, they're Japanese products. Microsoft, Xbox, Microsoft sells well with computers, obviously like Surfaces and things like that. But the gaming stuff is kind of put in the back corner of the gaming
console
sections. So. Right, exactly. Okay, so let's move on and talk about CD Projekt Red and of course how the gaming industry is reacting to what's going on in Ukraine. Obviously, here on the arena, me and Burly and Carl, of course, we're watching what's going on over there, and of course, we're thinking about the Ukrainian people, and everything that's happening over there is really terrible. But CD Projekt Red decides to all game sales in Russia. So this is from PCMag.com and Michael Kahn. So he says that the sales suspension occurs when major credit card providers have also stopped serving Russia's major banks, which has made it harder for users in the country, to buy PC games. So he goes on to say, CD Projekt Red is stopping all game sales in Russia over the country's invasion of Ukraine. Quote, today we begin working with our partners to suspend digital sales and cease physical stock deliveries of CD Projekt Group products, as well as games distributed on the GOG platform, the GOG platform, to the territories of Russia and Belarus, end quote, the game studio announced on Twitter. CD Projekt Red, which is based in Poland, said it stood, quote, firm with the people of Ukraine, end quote. It also signaled that other companies should consider suspending product sales in Russia and Belarus, the country's ally in the invasion of Ukraine. Quote, while we are not a political entity capable of directly influencing state matters and don't aspire to be one, we do believe that commercial entities, when united, have the power to inspire global change in the hearts and minds of ordinary people, end quote, the game developer said. So, yeah, Burly, I think this is awesome. And I'm sure that a lot of other game development companies will probably start to follow suit, if not completely cutting off sales, maybe, making them more expensive or something like that to Russia. I don't know. But how do you feel about all this? What do you think, man?
I'm a little opposite on this. I think that like, I understand you want it and you feel you should do something. I totally understand that. This is not the right way to go. Like, there are poor Russian people that are just, they live in Russia. They have to go, but it's what's happening in their country with their leadership. So I feel not taking games away from them is not really going to help that as much. If you want to help, and I think we got a better example of how to help, look at John Romero. Released in Love for Doom 2. And all
we talked about that on the morning show yesterday. So he made a new level of Doom 2. So
that and put it up for $5. If CD Projekt Red really wants to help, how about help raise some money? I'm not saying every dollar from Cyberpunk needs to go there. They're business and they need to make money. Like, I totally understand that. But they could put a good percentage of all Cyberpunk sales, all Witcher sales, all their stuff from all over the world, take a percentage, whatever that number needs to be, and then donate to that, to like the Red Cross funds and stuff like that to help Ukraine.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, that's another good, procedure and something to do moving forward, I think also. So
yeah, stopping the sales of video games, in my personal opinion, for a country because your leader's gone mad and is a tyrant is not the way to go. Help raise money.
Okay.
Like I'm not, and CD Projekt Red is a big enough company. They've made their money from Cyberpunk. Let's remember how much money they pulled in. So they're not hurting financially. They could take a 10% of all their sales or whatever the damn number be. And it will give them some good PR after all the stuff they've done.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and you bring up a good point too about, the Russian people. I mean, it's a lot of this does not have to do with them whatsoever. The Russian people. This is, like you said, this is the government, and there's a lot of people out there that are being hit really hard right now that, they don't have much. They don't have much money. They don't have many belongings, and, they're suffering now, but, that's unfortunately out of our control and out of our hands. So, there's nothing we can do about that. So, yeah. So, but I really think that, I think there's probably going to be some other developing studios that are probably going to follow suit and do the same thing that CD Projekt Red's doing. I don't know, but it's probably going to happen.
I think you're right. There's going to be more studios that'll do the same thing as CD Projekt Red. I'm kind of hoping more do the route of John Romero. That's where I want to see it more. This is just my own personal thoughts. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You don't have to make new content necessarily because a lot of these games have made their profit back. Just give a small get some good win sales. And give back to the Red Cross and all those foundations that are helping Ukraine. Do stuff like that.
Yeah. So those I think what Romero's doing is really cool, and if others do that as well, I think that will really help. So, okay, Burly, let's move on to Japan and Xbox. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and of course, segue into our topic of the show. Yeah. So. Xbox Series X and S has already outsold Xbox One in Japan. So I'm going to read a little bit of these numbers for you. And these are from Famitsu. So basically, it talks about with over 142,000 units sold so far, the Xbox Series X and Series S still has a way to go before it beats the sales figures of the original Xbox or the Xbox 360. The latter of which was boosted by exclusive games such as The Last Remnant and Blue Dragon when it was originally available. So let me read some of these numbers. And of course, this is from Famitsu. The original Xbox sold in Japan 474,992 units. The Xbox 360 sold 1,616,128 units. You get this. The Xbox One, 114,831 units. Oof.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot. Of course. Xbox shot themselves in the foot, out here in Japan with the way they, did their marketing and how they, treated the Japanese consumers. Unfortunately, back in those days.
To be fair, they shot themselves in the foot in North America. Remember, before the launch on Nanny console, always online, you always have to end in this. They were having to scramble and change all their plans because they were doing that. Right. And I love that. Remember the whole used game thing? And Sony did the best trolling ever. Is they literally, I think 20 minutes after that, they showed a video of how you share the game. They took two people and they're like, here you go. Pass the disc over. Thanks. Now I can play. Insert game name here.
Yeah. Okay, Burly.
I'm happy to see that. happy to see that Xbox is doing better in Japan, and they have two interesting little units. You've got the Series X for your hardcore, your big Xbox fans, and then they have the Series S, the small little compact unit for those that want to just digitally download, play games on Game Pass, and have fun.
Right.
I'm curious to, when all said and done, how the numbers go between the S and the X.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll get those kind of numbers, because usually what they'll do is they'll probably, put them together. But hopefully we'll get those numbers. But anyway, Burly, I have a little trivia question for you. So let's have some fun here. Which is the best ever selling Xbox title in Japan?
I'm going to go Lost Odyssey. Okay. Blue Dragon, then?
That's close. That was number 4.
Okay.
One more chance.
One of those Dead or Alive games?
Ooh, yes. You're close. Yeah. Dead or Alive 3.
I was going to take a stab at 4. I couldn't remember which ones have come out on there.
Yeah, Dead or Alive 3, 271,149 units sold from the original Xbox. Yeah, Dead or Alive 3. Number 2 is Star Ocean 4, The Last Hope from Xbox 360, 208,521 units sold. Tales of Vesperia from Xbox 360 sold 204,305 units. And then Blue Dragon, Xbox 360, 203,740. And rounding up the top 5, The Last Remnant for Xbox 360 sold 154,493 units. So Xbox is, making strides here. Are they going to beat PlayStation? No, they're not going to beat PlayStation out here. They're not going to beat Nintendo. Obviously not. But like we said before, I mean, they're looking at other means, for example, Game Pass and other ways of getting people into their ecosystem. So other than just the console sales. Yeah. Okay, Burly. So let's move on, segue into the topic of the show. Of course, we got a good month already coming for Xbox and Game Pass. And we found out, and we talked about it on the morning show as well, which you can, of course, watch Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch and YouTube and on Twitter. So please check us out there on one of those. We got the word about Guardians of the Galaxy coming out on March 10th. So that was a big surprise. I mean, to get Guardians of the Galaxy, and it hasn't even been out that long. It came out in October. So, I mean, So lots of cool games coming. And I have a list here. This is from purexbox.com, and I'm going to read some of the titles that we know of for sure that are going to be coming, that have release dates, and then other games that are to be determined for release dates. And but they're supposedly going to be coming this year, which will drop on Xbox Game Pass. So let me just read the March list. Of course, what we're getting from the 10th on, I will read. So March 10th, we get Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Lawn Mowing Simulator, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Young Souls. March 17th, we get Shredders. Then on the 24th, A Memoir Blue. And then on March 29th, Crusader Kings 3. It's supposed to be a pretty big one there. And then March 31st, Weird West. So that completes March as we know it. So usually we get 2 batches. So that was from the first batch. So we know of those so far. Here are the ones after March. April 5th, MLB The Show 22. So that's coming again like it did last year on day 1. Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. That's to be determined sometime this spring. Then on May 17th, 2 Point Campus, and then May 27th, Pac-Man Museum Plus. And we talked about Pac-Man Museum Plus a little bit on the morning show. this last week. Yeah, it's coming to Game Pass. Let's see what else here. Midnight Fight Express, sometime in the summer, and Redfall. Of course, that's one of the big ones. Redfall is coming in the summer, to be determined. And then in October, supposedly Scorn. That's another big one. Scorn is coming day one to Game Pass. And then obviously November 11th, Starfield. That's the biggest one. That's going to be a day one Game Pass, and then it says also December 8th, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Oof. I mean, what's going on now and all? I don't know if that game is going to come out or be released anytime soon because it was delayed to December. Yeah, I mean, they might have to go the route of Rainbow Six Extraction and change the name of that game. I don't know.
Instead of all Russians, it's Cheerio, we're all Brits.
Who knows? I don't know, man. But yeah. And then here's the list of the games to be determined. So it doesn't have a month or a release date yet, but supposedly this year. A Plague Tale Requiem. And of course, we played a Plague Tale Innocence. That's an excellent game. So Requiem. As Dusk Falls is another one. Atomic Heart is another one. Bushiden. Chinatown Detective Agency. Euden Chronicle Rising. Frog Detective, The Entire Mystery. Hello Neighbor 2. Yeah, it goes on and on here. Loot River is another one. Party Animals. Pigeon Simulator. Another simulation game for pigeons. Yeah, Replaced. Signalis. Slime Rancher 2. Sniper Elite 5. Somerville and Trek to Yomi. So that's from the list here of games that should be coming this year at some point to Xbox Game Pass. So Burly, let's talk about what we think might come to Game Pass, maybe either in the spring or later on this year. I mean, that is not an Xbox Games Studio title. Obviously, Xbox Games Studios titles are going to come to Game Pass day one when they release. But we've had some surprises this year. We got Hitman. We've gotten Rainbow Six Extraction. Now we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy. What are some other games you think that could be coming soon to Game Pass that could be surprises?
Yeah, see, Guardians really did surprise me that this was that this came to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
As for what else could come, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
This I've been thinking because
mm-hmm.
I know you've done the big on my tweet when we were doing the promo for this here, like Elden Ring. Elden Ring's selling well.
Elden Ring is not going to come.
There.
No.
I think
I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised though if it comes like in 5 months or so, because Guardians of the Galaxy, like I said, it's only been out since October. So who knows? Maybe we'll get it in the fall.
Guardians, they didn't make as much money. That's the thing. That's
true.
That's the huge thing. If it's selling and they know there's the big pump on this, they're gonna do it. I could see Elden Ring next year come there just to do that.
Okay.
But
okay.
See, this I've been racking my brain trying to think. Yeah. I'd love to say Judgment, but that's not going to be the huge. Other than you, me, and then we just bully Carl to start playing those games. That's not going to be as big of a thing to drive people.
What would you think of? Of course, Ubisoft has joined the fray with Extraction. So we got a Tom Clancy game in there, and of course we get what's the other Tom Clancy games? Ghost Recon. Ghost Recons have, I think, been in Game Pass also. But what about The Division? I mean, getting the Division games up on Game Pass, or even the Assassin's Creed games. The previous Assassin's Creed titles.
A Division would be, I don't know if that would make a splash. The Assassin's Creed, now that would be pretty big. I don't think they would go Valhalla. I think you would get, you're like 4. You may
Black
get
Flag or something.
Yeah, Black Flag. You get
Origins. Yeah.
Baby Odyssey. Because those still do sell pretty well. But to give those, that would be kind of interesting. See.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you see any of the Resident Evil titles coming to Game Pass?
That I could see we get a few, but I don't think that'll come around October. So that way they have something horror related for October. I could see
either that or the Dark Pictures anthology series, like one of the new ones, or the second, the one that came previously would probably make it. I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that made previously, yes. I can't say them
because Man of Medan's already been on it. Man of Medan's been on it. Little Hope has been on it as well.
On there,
I think. Yeah. So. Yeah. I think Little Hope has been on it. Maybe not, but I know Man of Medan was on it.
I know Man of Medan. I can't remember for Little Hope.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, and of course now with the acquisition and Activision Blizzard, we're going to get all those games on Game Pass, and of course the Bethesda games that are coming out, and obviously Starfield and whatever else they release is going to come to Game Pass as well. But I'm thinking of some of the other studios, of course Ubisoft. What about WB? I mean, Warner Brothers. I mean, maybe some of the Batman games, like Gotham Knights or something might come to Game Pass. It'd be interesting because I think we've got also the Lord of the Rings games, Shadow of Mordor. I think Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Yeah, they came to Game Pass as well too. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, man. I mean, there's so much stuff that could possibly come to this, this service. It's just amazing, and I think it keeps everybody on their toes as to what they're going to announce. And I think, that's good on Microsoft that they're doing this. And I mean, you have all these people that, that are picking up Game Pass now, the subscriptions and, just enjoying all of these titles that, they just didn't have the financial means to go out and pay $60 or $70 for those games initially. Now they're getting a chance to play them. Yeah.
Well, it's not always a financial thing. It's like that you can't afford it. It's just a matter of, do I want to spend $60 on this? Not sure if I'm going to get my money's worth or I'm going to enjoy this. Because how many times have you and I in the past, you've bought in a game and you're like, why did I spend full price on this? Yeah. Like, that's that kind of thing. I've had that happen way too many times, and it's I try to be I as I've matured and gotten older, and I say mature and loosely because if you've seen my streams, you can tell I'm not really mature or just on the podcast.
Okay, really. Okay.
Like I'm being smarter with my purchases on some of these games. Like some of these games I won't buy day one. I'll wait a bit and know what I know, what I'm more going to gravitate towards.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there are people out there though, that they're like, I'm just going to wait till it comes to Game Pass because, they don't have the $60, $70 to spend. And I mean, I'm in that same boat with a lot of games. I mean, I was reluctant, to get Horizon Forbidden West, because, I'm strapped for cash sometimes and, I want to play these games. But, Horizon, I've been looking forward to for 5 years, since,
first game
Horizon Zero Dawn came out. So, yeah. So, I mean, but there's a lot of games that I want to pick up, but it's just, I don't have the cash to get them. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait for it to come on Game Pass. And
like Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a perfect example because I have not played that game yet, and I've really wanted to play it. If I had the cash, I would have picked it up and bought it day one. But I'm like, well, I'll just have to wait till it comes to Game Pass, and well, poof, bingo, this week, we got the good news that it's coming to Game Pass now. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think Game Pass is just going to keep growing and growing. I mean, of course, obviously PlayStation, they're going to be coming out with their Project Spartacus and whatever it is. But, from the reports that we've gotten, we talked about it on the morning show as well, that, it seems like the highest tier, there's going to be, multiple tiers, and the highest tier is like $16 a month, which would be considerably higher than the Game Pass Ultimate at $10. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, Game Pass just keeps churning along and bringing out some exciting games to play. So, March Madness has begun, so we don't know. We could be getting some other exciting games before the end of the month, so we shall see. Yeah.
Yeah, well it'll be interesting to see what we do get on this. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going to be something, a big title, or is it just going to be some indie titles that we all have wanted to try. I think this one that'll be more indies because they got Guardians, but we'll get some bigger titles near as we go throughout the year.
Yeah, I think probably once a month we're probably going to be getting a title like Guardians or something. And then we'll get the regular indies and stuff too. But yeah, I think every month now, and then with the releases starting to come out from these studios, we're going to be seeing like once a month at least. We're going to be getting a pretty big title. So exciting times, man. Yeah, March. Yeah, March Madness. Yeah. All right, so it's time for our new game releases. So you can find them on releases.com. That's where we go to read off our picks of the week. So we're going to be going through them now. So for March 7th through the 13th. So Burly, I will go ahead and start my pick of the week. And of course, one more time, you can find it at releases.com. The link will be below for that. So my pick of the week is Have a Nice Death. I mean, that's the greatest title of a game you could ever come up with, right? Have a nice death.
You do hope you do have a nice death, Expat.
Yeah, I hope you do as well, Burly, especially when you're playing Elden Ring.
Oh, those aren't nice deaths. Those are...
No!
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, this is from Magic Design Studios of Perfect World Entertainment. So Have a Nice Death, it releases on PC on March 8th. So Have a Nice Death is a 2D action roguelite where you play as an overworked death whose employees have run rampant, completely throwing off the balance of souls. And his vacation plans, in order to restore order, you'll have to grab your trusty scythe and show your employees who's boss. So, yeah. I mean, this is the type of game that should come out like during the Halloween season, like in October. But, it's coming out here in March. So, on PC on March 8th. So, Burly, what's your game of the week, man?
I was going to say it probably was a Halloween game, but because of the pandemic got pushed back to March. My game is Chocobo GT. It's coming Thursday, March 10th to the Nintendo Switch. Chocobo GP is a thrilling kart racer experience set in the Chocobo universe. Featuring a variety of whimsical characters from across the franchise, players will be able to dash as the game's namesake and star Chocobo and friends. Chocobo GP will challenge racers to master courses from well-known Chocobo and Final Fantasy series locations, set off in a new journey with Chocobo and friends as they enter the racing tournament to win unbelievable reward, a wish for anything their heart desires. Ooh. Awesome. It's the same reward with Twisted Metal. Hopefully it's not it gets twisted, whatever you ask. But they do have characters from like Steiner from FF9. And the nice thing they are doing is if you want to try this game, you don't want to buy it. They are going to give you a free version the same day. The light version, so you only get so many characters and so many, like 4 tracks. So I'm going to be definitely trying that out. Too bad my only thing against it so far is why is this Switch only? Why not have this on all platforms?
Yeah, it's interesting. And the publisher is Square Enix. So, I don't know. That's weird. All right, cool. All right, so those are our picks of the week. And like I said before, you can go to releases.com and check out the new releases for the week of March 7th through the 13th. And, of course, through the month of March. And we'll be going through the next weeks on our next episode. So stay tuned for that. So, all right, Burly. So what are you going to be playing and streaming this coming week?
It's Horizon and Elden are the two games for the next bit.
Okay. All right. Horizon and Elden. Yeah, I'm still going to be playing Horizon Forbidden West. I might even try to finish it this coming week. So if I get the time to do it with all the other content stuff we have going on. And about that, yes, of course, our morning show, as I talked about before, we do on Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So where we talk about the gaming news for the day. So please check us out either on YouTube or on Twitch or Twitter. So you can catch us there. So we multi-stream to those platforms. And I want to remind everybody, of course, our Warp Factor 10 debut episode is on Patreon now at patreon.com/thearena_podcast, which is our new Star Trek series where we talk anything and everything Star Trek. And also, after this episode recording, we're going to be recording the Picard Season 2, Episode 1 reactions video. So just to let you all know, all of you listeners and viewers, we're not going to be doing a post show this week because we're going to be recording our reactions to Picard Season 2, Episode 1. So the post show will be back from next week. Okay? So just want to let all of you viewers and listeners know about that. And, of course, on social media, you can find me on Twitter at expat_gamer. So, Burly, where can people find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Burlyman Gaming. You can also find me on twitch.tv/Burlyman Gaming.
All right. Awesome. Yes. And, of course, Mr. Streamloots. Yeah, you got all that going on in your streams and everything. So, please go and check out Burly. Yeah, he's an awesome streamer, and he's got the Streamloots stuff, and you can make him hold up his hands while he's playing Elden Ring.
I have the same card in Horizon, funnily enough.
Oh, really?
Okay. It's a popular Streamloots card, especially when I do hard games. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wonder why. All right. So this is going to, be it for episode 76. So to conclude the episode, our indie recording artist spotlight. This week's spotlight is on Milano. Milano's goal is to make people feel uplifted through music. From upbeat electronic bangers to vibey lo-fi instrumentals, there is something in his palette for every mood. From his album titled Dirt Road Anthems, and the song is called Driving Cars Onto Mars. So this has been The Arena, Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, episode 76. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch, a.k.a. Mr. Streamloots. And yes, our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, will be back with us next week. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So we hope to catch you next week, everyone. Take care. Talk to you next week. Peace.
Live long and prosper.
Out.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight.